Thoughts so loud, thoughts so wow that I need to get them out, yeah. Thoughts so loud, thoughts so loud that I need to speak them out, damn. Thoughts so loud, thoughts so pow, make a sound, can't be missing, man. Thoughts so loud, thoughts highbrow, talking shit while you listen now. Like, you ever think about that before? 'Cause I have. What's up, my people, and welcome to the 9th episode of Loud Thoughts with me, your host, True Loudy, bringing it again. We're doing it again every week, baby. Just keep on coming back. You know what? Also, if you enjoyed that intro song, that is created by me, written by me, performed by me, recorded by me, edited by me. Just like everything on this podcast, someone recently was like, dude, you should probably tell people you write all the music for your podcast. And you should probably let people know that you also created the podcast, conceived the podcast, and do everything yourself, which is true. I do everything myself. So maybe that helps you kind of appreciate it a little bit more. I don't know. If it doesn't, that's okay. It doesn't really matter that much. As long as you enjoy the content, that's all that matters to me. I want to bring you guys just fun things to listen to and insightful perspectives on life. That's the whole premise of this format of the True Loudy Show. Loud thoughts, my thoughts during the week or during the past month that I've finally kind of condensed down into a podcast for you guys to digest with your ear holes, right? That's why we're here right now. That's why you're here right now, and I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to give it to your ear holes, basically, is what I'm saying. So, without further ado, attractive privilege. Attractiveness is coveted. But what makes you attractive? I would say there are a ton of reasons why a person would be considered attractive. And while the exact reasons may vary depending on the culture you live in, the specifications remain ubiquitous among humans. We're attracted to fame, money, looks, power, prestige, social standing, emotional awareness, otherwise known as EQ or emotional quotient, swagger, confidence, oh yeah, those are your rappers, ability, skill, upward inflection. Celebrities, IG models, movie stars, actors, and musicians are a great set of examples for what we're attracted to. And what does our culture find attractive? All of the aforementioned stuff. Although attractiveness is subjective, being fat used to be hot as hell. They used to be like, yo, look at them birthing hips. Oh, shit. That fat gonna carry that girl through a rainy day. Yes. You know what I'm talking about? That girl could get through a famine with them hips. Get that baby on out. Don't worry about it. That baby's gonna come out nice and healthy. The quintessential example of female beauty was fat for that reason. If you look at the old Renaissance paintings from back in the day, them girls were packing extra lipids. You feel me? So not only is physical attractiveness subjective, but it's also culturally relevant and relevant to particular time periods. I mean, look at Frida Kahlo with that giant-ass unibrow and that smug face. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. She had a ton of lovers, and she was considered so beautiful. She's so hot. But come on, dude. She's not making it through today's standard of beauty. She's just not. She's not that good looking. And if you think she is, you're full of shit. Don't fucking lie. But let's be real. That's physical attraction. That's how she looks, right? She had other shit going on. She was a talented artist, so maybe. Or maybe she had that WAP. You know what I'm saying? That's possible too. We'll never know. Or maybe we will. Maybe she has some diaries or some shit. But as far back as you look, the beauty standard was really low. when you go back far enough in time. And people didn't get out much, dude. They just didn't get out. Much less have the internet to compare the most smoking dude or chick on the block to them, right? Or to anyone that they're trying to date. Like, they're not like, oh, damn, well, Liam Hemsworth, so you ain't worth my time. That's not how that shit works, dude. Like, you're not like, oh, you're not as hot as whatever fucking actress is hot now. Jennifer Lawrence, I don't know, she's hot to me. But you get the idea, right? Like, you're not as hot as this person, so it's not going to work out. And because they didn't have anything to compare to, you kind of just had to deal with what you got in your area. You had no aspirations to find more attractive mates because there was no inspiration to model your search after. Only in recent years has standardized beauty become so prevalent across the globe. And while different cultures have certain ideas about what is hot, they tend to be more isolated. At least that's what I feel like. We see examples in isolated tribes away from the grasp and influence of Western culture. Foot bondage with the Japanese. Oh, cramp up that foot, girl. Make it so tiny. Tiny little foot. I mean, that's not small or isolated, but I just wanted to put that one out there because I think it's really funny. Like, why you doing that to those poor girls, man? Why you cramping up them little feetsies? The other groups I'm really talking about are the ones that, in tribes, they might stretch out their necks over time using those rings or put bones through their noses, gauge their ears and lips in the name of being more attractive, more part of the tribe, more unified, It's the look of the tribe. And they might put tattoos on themselves, proving yourself in battle against a warring tribe. You might get markings to signify your manhood as well. And that would make you attractive because if you don't have them, you never really passed a certain ritual into manhood. So you don't fucking fit in. You're not a real man or whatever. I'm not sure if there's ones that they do for women. I'm sure there are too. But I have a penis, okay? So these are the ones I'm going over. And people certainly don't like being outliers in their communities. No one wants to be that weird dude on the block that everyone's like, don't talk to that dude. He's fucking weird. Or they give you an anecdote and they're like, well, that guy, here's an anecdote, in parentheses. Don't go near him. One time I saw him fuck a fishbowl or whatever the fuck. I don't even know how you would do that, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Okay. So moving on. So when we look at Western culture and the perpetuation of what is attractive, we start to see that people aim to emulate the status quo in order to gain attention and be more well-liked. People who are more attractive, especially physically, as I talked about before. More than 50% of your cortex, the surface of your brain, is devoted to processing visual information. Think about it. Think about it for a second. Are you thinking about it? Close your eyes. I bet you're visualizing something. Oh, shit. Yep, there you go. Visualize using your eyes. And think about how lost you would be without your eyes. Be blind for a second. Close your eyes. Yep, that's right. You use them to gauge all of your other senses, too. Where did that sound come from? Oh, let me look. You can't identify that sound because it might sound dissimilar to your environment or what's in your environment that you have already taken into account, right? So you're like, oh, what was that? Is that danger? Let me look with my eyeballs, right? Why does this taste weird? Let me look. Then maybe I'm going to smell it, right? Or if you want to touch or hold something, chances are you're looking at it before you fucking grab it. I mean, you get the idea, right? So this physical attraction seems to take top seat to all the other types of characteristics that make a human super hot. I know we talked about all the other ones, prestige, power, intellect wasn't on that list, I don't think, but that's a 1-2, or your emotional quotient. Those are a lot of things that are also attractive. But physical attraction is taking that top seat. And now I know men and women traditionally differ on their tastes within what they prioritize as attractive. Men are more visual and women are more based on security and, the security that a man can bring them, technically, right? And the status or power that they have. And those two things are kind of intertwined with security. But overall, as a Western culture, we together as men and women are far more obsessed with physical appearance, whether we're trying to be the ones that look good or we're chasing the individual that is attractive or obsessing over them. They don't have to be someone that we're ever going to end up with. This is where the celebrities, IG models, and all that shit comes in, right? Like, we obsess over that shit. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, my God, I wish I was like that. Oh, why can't I have abs like that? How are his biceps so big? All that shit, man. And maybe it's not everyone as a whole. This isn't necessarily anyone's fault either. Some would blame it on the media. That's a big one. It's the media's fault that everyone needs to have C cups or more, or, have a fat ass, or be like 98 pounds big, for women or whatever. Or I also am so, I get annoyed with that shit. Because women, not everybody, not all women, I should say, not all women, but a lot of women out there, sorry if you're one of these women, you get real pissed at the media and how they portray female roles physically. But guess what, motherfucker? They do the same thing to men. Same shit. You're supposed to have abs. You're supposed to know how to fucking fix a car when it breaks down. And you're supposed to have like fucking dark hair, light colored eyes. Scruff is like a big one that's in right now. A big dick. Can't be balding. You know what I mean? All that shit too, man. You got to look at the whole fucking picture. You can't just say, the women are the only ones that are oppressed here. It's hands down the first thing we notice about someone is how they look. Because we get no other information initially. And since physical attraction is the first impression, it becomes prioritized in attributing initial value to someone in the form of attention. And if you think it doesn't matter to you, would you care if a flock of birds shit on you on your way to work and then you had to go into work and everyone was like, damn, what the fuck happened to you? You look terrible, dude. That's really gross. You should have changed before you came into work, motherfucker. Yeah, you would care, dude. You would be upset. Be like, damn, these birds shit all over me. I look terrible. And the thing is, we don't even need the bird shit. If we wake up in the morning and we look run down and run ragged, run down, rugged, just fucked up, we look like we just got hit by every ugly branch on the tree of life on the way down. Maybe you're hungover or whatever the fuck, dude. Maybe you just didn't get enough sleep. We're worried about how we're perceived. And that's a natural thing. We want to make good impressions on people. We want to be well liked, whether we want to admit to it or not. And because we want to make a good impression and have high status within our surrounding environment, this shit is important to us. Excluding family, of course, because fuck them, am I right? I have pictures of me on vacation with my family. I'm like, damn, dude, I didn't know there was going to be cameras around. I should have just tried to make myself look nicer. Fuck, man, that haircut looks terrible. I could have put some styling shit in my hair, some pomade or whatever, or even just gotten a haircut. There's so many fucking terrible pictures of me with terrible haircuts. Just all over the family calendars. We get family calendars every year. And I'm like, dude, can I talk to the committee? Because these pictures that are going in here of me, I have no say. And they don't look great. And that's just me, too. That's me proving my point. We fucking care. Even though we don't care around family, right? But I digress. So now that we've established all of that, right? What does being physically attractive get you other than attention? Well, people are nicer to you, for sure. People allow you the benefit of the doubt when you may be suspect in acting rude or committing some sort of injustice. I mean, look at Ted Bundy. That motherfucker was good looking and chicks were like, I don't care. I think he's innocent because he's fucking hot. And they just they were just down, dude. I'll bust him out of jail. I'll write him in jail, whatever. I don't care if he murders women. People generally treat you differently. They're nicer to you, more patient, more interested in what you have to say. and more lenient with your faults as an individual. I would dare to say being attractive is a privilege. What about the hot girl that gets out of tickets when she's pulled over? Yeah, attractiveness, privilege, right? Or has a bunch of guy friends that she can call whenever she needs a hand with some shit? Privilege. Or gets free drinks at the bar all the time? More privileges. You know what I'm saying? Or the hot guy that can get away with being an asshole because he looks good. We all know that guy. Well, I told him I was fucking other people and, it's totally fine. They're okay with it. It doesn't have to work all the time in this sense, but it does often. Like this guys can maybe even work their way up towards a promotion. Girls can do this too. And they get it because they're attractive, or maybe a guy's never had bad interactions with strangers, or a girl's never had bad interactions with strangers because they just have to smile. That's all they have to do. They look good. They just smile. I look good. Let me get away with shit. And obviously, these scenarios can be interchangeable, as I said with the last couple, between the two sexes, but the situation remains the same. We chase attractiveness because being attractive not only makes us feel good about ourselves, but it makes our lives easier in some ways. Sometimes the attention and fakeness that comes with that treatment can feel less like a privilege and more like a burden, though. When you walk into a place and all eyes are on you all the time, it's uncomfortable. Girls in the gym is a really good example of this. I wouldn't want to be a hot girl in a gym at all, dude. At all. And everyone's always sizing each other up in the gym anyway. They're like, how buff are you? What are you lifting? What's your form like? Everyone's just judging each other all the fucking time. And then the endorphins are going, so everyone's just got a fucking boner, They're just like ready to fuck. So it's not the best place to be if you're a hot chick. And if you're a guy, you might not even know who your real friends are because they just want to use you for their own pussy magnet gains. Like this guy, let's bring him out. He's so hot. Fucking Charles. Yeah, dude. We got to bring Charles, dude. He always picks up chicks. It can also be detrimental because if you're born physically attractive in our culture, you may only focus on this aspect of your existence and hold your looks on a pedestal. Because if you see what it gets you, then why focus on anything else? This is why a lot of hot people lack personality, depth, and intelligence. They weren't born that way. They developed that way over time. Some people are born attractive or maybe blossom late in life too, and never really realize the power they had until later. And when they have that epiphany, they took advantage of it. Others in that same grouping might see it as a folly and choose not to abuse their newfound power. So there's a couple different subsets of like attractiveness and how it's developed or found out or whatever, I just kind of wanted to talk about that stuff too. Being born really unattractive can be difficult for a person in the Western world. Here we just value the way you look over your actual capabilities as a human so much more. That's kind of why I wanted to talk more about the physical aspects, because the other ones, your emotional quotient or your intellect is so valuable to everything that you can do in life, and yet looks are often the more important thing that people view. And if you're born unattractive, you might get bullied, hated on for no reason, seen as lesser than, and receive no attention from the opposite sex, which can be devastating. Because in the end, all we want to do is fuck. That's all we really want to do. It's in our biology. We just want to procreate. And when you can't do that, it's upsetting. This whole being born unattractive thing can be psychologically damaging for individuals, and it's hard to explain why the world has to be this way, yet it is. consciousness and higher intelligence are the most important forms to focus on in self-development, along with health, of course. This is because the body and the mind are connected, and when you focus heavily on one, the other goes to the wayside, and that imbalance ends up fucking with the one you developed anyway. It's hard to say if we'll ever live in a world where physical attraction won't be held in such high regard. Maybe it's built into our biology. But I know for myself, at least, I would much rather be a smart, conscientious person than a brain-dead walking Ken doll. And that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening, for taking the time to ingest some of the things that I talked about today. We are on our way to 1,000 listens, and I just hit 20 established audience, which is pretty amazing. I'm seeing this podcast only grow. It's only grown since I started doing this again, and that's a good indicator that I'm doing something fucking right, because I'm taking time. I really am. I'm taking time to think about this shit, and I want to put out content that's good. For a lack of a better word, that is well-rounded and thought-provoking and or hilarious or funny or just entertaining in general. Funny, thought-provoking, entertaining. Those are really the three major components that I'm going for here. So I appreciate your support. I really do. If you enjoyed this podcast at all, please like and share, comment on it. Give me feedback. Let me know what you think. I do want to make a quick notation about the intro. And hopefully you get to the end of this and you're listening and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to hear this. And I'll talk about it again. But my buddy Alex Colvin, who is the first episode of Loud Talks, or on the first episode of Loud Talks, he actually created the music for that intro and outro, and I just did the vocals on it. Alex is really dope, man. He's super well-rounded artist. So if you haven't checked that podcast out, go check it out. It's really good. I had a lot of fun with him, and I really appreciate him letting me use his music for my stuff. We've also worked on a couple other songs together, which you can find on my YouTube, which is True Loudy, TrueLoudy. That's the same on Instagram, TrueLoudy, and Gmail, all the same. So hit me up, give me your feedback, let me know what you think. Make sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, because Spotify's a little bitch and won't let you actually leave a review on there. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. And as always, much love, thanks for listening, and may you be blessed as you move through the streets of this life, trying to navigate which way is wrong and which way is right, baby.